Hello everyone, hello sir. I am Tallada from BSME 2B. Today I am going to discuss to you assignment number 1, numbers 1 to 17 respectively. So now let us go to number 1. What is the annual rate of interest if 265 pesos is earned in 4 months on investment of 15,000 pesos? So problem number 1 asks for the annual rate of interest. So we will go to the formula small letter I is equals to big letter I or P times N, where the small letter I is the interest rate, the big letter I is the interest, P is the profit, and N here is our time. So we will just substitute the values here, and as you can see, our N here will be divided by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. So our N here is 1/3. In this paper, I wrote it wrong. It should have been 4 over 12 and not 12 over 4. Moving over, if we calculate the substituted values, we will come up with the answer 0.53 or 5.3%. So now let's go on to number 2. A loan of 2,000 pesos is made for a period of 13 months. From January 1 to January 31 the following year at a simple interest of 20%. What is the future amount that is due at the end of the loan period? So we will just simply multiply the following values. Recall the formula F is equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus IN. Upon substituting the values, we noticed in the problem that our N is 13 months. So we will then again divide our N by 12 and our I will be 0.20. When calculated, we will come up with the answer 2,433.33 pesos. This will be the future amount and our answer for this item. So now let us go to number 3. If you borrow money from your friend with simple interest of 12%, find the present worth of 20,000 which is due at the end of 9 months. In this problem, we are asked to find the present worth of 20,000 which is due 9 months with an interest of 12%. Now we are going to use the same formula that we've used in number 2. So, F is equals to P times 1 plus IN. And in this problem, we will be dividing our N by 12, so it is 9 over 12. And our I will be 12.12 to be exact. If we calculate the given values, we will come up with the answer 18,348.62385 pesos. This will be our answer for this item. So now let us move on to number 4. Determine the exact simple interest on 5,000 pesos for the period from January 15 to November 28, 1992. If the rate of interest is 22%. Recall the exact simple interest formula, which is IE is equals to PIN, and since our N is the period from January 15 to November 28, 1992, we need to count the number of days in each month so that we can determine our N. And as you can see on the paper, these are the number of days in each month. And I came with 318 days. Since our N is 318, we need to divide it by 366 for the very reason that it is a leap year. So our N should be 318 over 366. Our I is 0.22. So now we can easily substitute and calculate the values in this problem. The answer for this item is 955.74 pesos. So now let us go to number 5. A man wishes his son to receive 200,000 pesos 10 years from now. What amount should he invest if it will earn interest of 10% compounded annually during the first 5 years and 12% compounded quarterly during the first 5 years? In this problem, the given is 200,000 pesos, and in this problem we will gonna have two separate equations because we have to give a percentage. We have given percentage the interest of 10%, which is compounded annually during the first 5 years, and the interest of 12% compounded quarterly during the first 5 years. We will label them F1 and F2. For F1, our N is 5. For F2, the 12% will be divided by 4 because it is compounded quarterly. So our N is equals to 20. As you can see in the paper, after we determine our N, we recall the formula F is equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus IN, which will be derived to P2 is equals to F times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to negative N. Upon substituting the values of P2 is 110,735.15 pesos. To get the final answer of this question, we need to solve using this formula. P1 is equals to P2 times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to negative N. Our answer should be 68,757.82 pesos. This will be our answer for this item. So now let's go to number 6. By the addition of a will, the sum 25,000 pesos is left to be held in trust by her guardian until it amounts to 45,000 pesos. When will the girl receive the money if the fund is invested at 8% compounded quarterly? Same as number 5, we will use the same formula, which is F is equals to P times the quantity of 1 IN raised to N. In this item, I used the calculator technique shift solve to answer this item, but it can be answerable by other solutions. The answer of this problem should be 7.42 years. So now let us go to number 7. At a certain rate, compounded semi-annually, 5,000 pesos will amount to 20,000 pesos after 10 years. What is the amount at the end of 15 years? This particular problem is just the same as problem number 5. We are asked to determine the amount at the end of 15 years, but before we solve for that, we must solve first the values where n is equal to 10 years. So F1 is equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus 1/2 raised to 2n. Our F1 should be 20,000 and our P is 5,000, substituted by our N, which is 10. Our I is 14.35% or 0.1435. So now, we can now calculate the values where N is 15. We need to determine F2 in this case. Substitute the necessary values and we will have an answer of 39,973.74 pesos. So now let us go to number 8. Jones Corporation borrowed 9,000 pesos from Brown Corporation on January 1, 1978 and 12,000 on January 1, 1980. Jones Corporation made a partial payment of 7,000 on January 1, 1981. It was agreed that the balance of the loan would be amortized by two payments of January 1, 1982 and the other one on January 1, 1983. The second being 50% larger than the first. If the interest rate is 12%, what is the amount of each payment? Now in this problem, our given is 12% and we are asked to find the future amount of each payment mentioned. In each payment, we will just simply multiply the quantity of 1 plus I raised to n on every respective payment. If we calculate all the values, we should be arriving at the answers. X is equals to 9,137.18 pesos and 3 over 2x is equals to 13,705.77 pesos. That will be our answers for this item. So now let us go to number 9. A woman borrowed 3,000 pesos to be paid after 1.5 years, with the interest of 12% compounded semi-annually and 5,000 pesos to be paid after 3 years at 12% compounded monthly. What single payment must she pay after 3.5 years at an interest of 16% compounded quarterly to settle the two obligations? In this item, we are going to have three equations to determine the answer using the formula F is equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus I over 2 raised to n. So first, we're gonna solve f1 with the first set of given values. So f1 is equals to 300, 3000 rather, 3000 times 1 plus 0.12 over 2 raised to 2 times 1 and 1 half. So our f1 is equals to 3,573.05 pesos. Next, we solve our f2 with the same formula, substituting the second set of values given. So our f2 will be 7,153.84 pesos. And now, to solve our f3, we need to use the formula f3 is equals to f1 plus f2, wherein the sets of values that we calculated earlier will be added to find our final answer in this item. Using the same formula on how we computed f1 and f2, our f3 should be 12,627.55 pesos. That will be our final answer in this item. So now let us go to number 10. Mr. J. De La Cruz borrowed money from the bank. He received from the bank 1,342 pesos and promised to pay 1,500 pesos at the end of 9 months. Determine the simple interest rate and the corresponding discount rate are often referred to as the banker's discount. In here, we are asked to find the simple interest rate, which is I is equals to D over 1 minus D, and the discount rate, where D is equals to discount over principal. The discount in this problem is 158 pesos, and the principal is 1,500 pesos. First, we need to solve the banker's discount in order for us to determine the simple interest rate. So, rate of discount is discount over principal, so that is 158 over 1,500, and that is equals to 0.1052 or 10.52%. Using the 0.1052 or 0.1053 or 10.53%. So, using the data that we have solved, let us calculate the simple interest rate. So, simple interest rate is equals to discount over 1 minus discount. So, it is 0.1053 over 0.1053. So, the answer is 0.1177 or 11.77%. And that is our answer in this item. Now let's go to number 11. A man deposits 50,000 pesos in a bank at 6% compounded monthly for 5 years. If the inflation rate of 6.5% per year continues for this period, will this effectively protect the purchasing power of the original principal? In this problem, we have our given 50,000 pesos as P, or the present worth, 6% or 0.06 as R, or the nominal rate of interest, 5 years as Rn, or the number of years, and 6.5 or 0.065 as Rf, or the inflation rate of this problem. So in this specific problem, we are going to be using the formula I is equal to the quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to the power of M minus 1. Using the values that I stated earlier, we then substitute it to our formula. We should be getting 49,225 pesos as our final answer in this item. So now let's go to number 12. What is the future worth of 600 pesos at the end of every month for 4 years if the interest rate is 12% compounded quarterly? In this item, we are going to use the formula F is equals to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 over I. But before that, let us first solve I. As you can see in the solution, our I is 0.0099 or 0.99%. Our n is 4 years multiplied by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. We then substitute our given to the formula mentioned earlier. We should have an answer of 36,641 pesos. So now let's move to number 13. A young woman, 22 years old, has just graduated from college. She accepts a good job and decides to establish her own retirement fund. At the end of each year thereafter, she plans to deposit 2,000 in a fund at 15% annual rate. How old will she be when the fund has an accumulated value of 1 million pesos? In this problem, we are asked to determine the age of the young woman when the fund has an accumulated value of 1 million pesos. We will just simply compute the accumulated value equals the money deposited times the annual rate. Upon solving this question, we will come up with the answer n is equals to 31. So 31 plus 22 is equals to 53. Therefore, the woman will be 53 years old at that time. And that will be our answer in this item. So now let us move to number 14. Mr. Reyes borrows 600,000 at 12% compounded annually. Agreeing to repay the loan in 15 equal payments, how much of the original principal is still unpaid after he has made the 8th payment? First thing we need to do is to determine what is A in the equation. P is equals to A times 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to n over I, where P is 600,000, I is 0.12, and n is 15. Or should I say, negative 15 if we substitute it to the formula. We should be getting 88,094.54 pesos as our A. Next thing we need to do is to solve the same formula again, but our n is different. Our n is going to be 7 at this point. So upon substituting the values in the same formula with the different n value, we should be arriving at an answer of 402,042 pesos. Now let us go to number 15. M purchased a small lot in a subdivision, paying 200,000 pesos and promising to pay 15,000 pesos every 3 months of the next 10 years. The seller figured interest at 12% compounded quarterly. So in this item, there are 4 letters to answer. So let us start with letter A. So A is, what was the cash price of the lot? Our A is 15,000 pesos and our N is 40 because 10 was multiplied by 4 because it is compounded quarterly, same as our I, that is equals to 3%, which came from our 12% over 4. And then we proceed to the formula. P is equals to 200,000 plus 15,000 times the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.3 raised to negative 40 over 0.03, which gives us the final answer of 546,722 pesos. Letter B. If M missed the first 12 payments, what must he pay at the time the 13th is due to bring him up to date? So our I here is 3% or 0.03 and our N here is 13. So we will just simply substitute to the formula F13 is equals to 15,000, which is our A, times the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to the power of 13 minus 1 over 0.03. We should be arriving at an answer of 234,270 pesos, and that would be our answer for letter B. So now let us go to letter C. After making 8 payments, M wished to discharge his remaining indebtedness by a single payment at the time when the 9th regular payment was due. What must he pay in addition to the regular payment due? So our N here is 40 minus 9 is equals to 31. So the same process and formula, P is equals to 15,000 times the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to the power of negative 29 over negative 0.03. We should be arriving at an answer of 300,006 pesos. So letter D. If M missed the 10 first payment, what must he pay when the 11th payment is due to discharge his entire indebtedness? As you can see here, in the solution, our N here is 29. So we will be using the formula P29 is equals to 15,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to the power of 11 minus 1 over 0.03. We will be getting F11 is equals to 192,116.94 pesos. So in order to determine Q, we must add the corresponding values of P29 and F11. Once the values are added, we should be arriving at an answer of 479,948 pesos. 479,948 pesos rather. So now let us go to number 16. A man approaches the ABC loan agency for 100,000 pesos to be paid in 24 monthly installments. The agency advertises an interest rate of 1.5% per month. They proceed to calculate the amount of his monthly payment in the following manner. What is the effective rate of interest of the loan? In this item, we are asked to find the effective rate of interest of the loan. But before we get to that, we need to solve for the total owed and the payment of this problem. First, we need to solve for the interest, which you can see here in the solution. Our interest is 36,540 pesos plus 101,500. The total owed is equals to 138,040 pesos. 138,040 pesos divided by 24 is equals to 5,751.67 pesos. This is our payment in this problem. To solve for the effective rate, we just simply divide 100,000 pesos over 5,751.67 equals to 17.3863. 17.3863 equals 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to negative 24 over I is equals to 38.64%. This will be the effective rate of the loan. So now, let us go on the last number, 17. A new office building was constructed 5 years ago by a consulting engineering firm. At the time, the firm obtained the bank loan for 10 million pesos with a 20% annual interest rate compounded quarterly. The terms of the loan called for equal quarterly payments for a 10-year period with the right of prepayment anytime without penalty. Letter A. What is the balance due on the original mortgage or principal if all payment have been made through a full 5 years? The solution in this question is we will be compiling our values in the formula A is equals to 10 million pesos over 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus negative 20 over 4 raised to the power of negative 2 over negative 20 over 4. Our A is 582,781.6117 pesos. 582,781.6117 pesos times the quantity of 1 minus 1 plus 0.20 over 4 minus 20 over negative 20 over 4. Our remaining balance should be 7,262,747.29 pesos. So letter B, what will be the difference between the equal quarterly payments in the existing arrangement and the raised proposal? So remaining balance plus 5% service charge is equals to 7,625,884 pesos. A is equals to 7,625,884 over the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.24 over 4 raised to the power of negative 80 over 0.24 over 4. Our A2 is equals to 461,919.1922 pesos. A1 minus A2 is equals to 120,862 pesos. This will be the final answer of letter B. So that sums up this video. Once again, I am Junray S. Tallada from BSME 2B. Thank you.